Steph Curry, son of respected NBA player Del Curry, grew up breathing basketball in the corridors of professional arenas. Everyone expected doors to open naturally for him, as if talent was an unquestionable genetic inheritance. But destiny had other plans, and reality proved merciless. Today, you'll discover 10 things many fans never noticed about Steph Curry. And the first begins long before fame. Number 10. He almost gave up before the NBA. Steph was rejected by the main universities. Virginia Tech, where his father was a legend, offered only a spot without a scholarship. Duke didn't even call. North Carolina rejected him for being too small. Only Davidson College, a university without expression, accepted him. At just 6 feet and 160 pounds, Curry frequently questioned his decision. The turning point came when he created a brutal routine, waking up at 5 a.m. for extra training, shooting 500 balls before breakfast, and studying videos for hours. The result? He broke the record for three-pointers for freshmen in the NCAA and took Davidson to the Elite Eight, defeating powerhouses like Georgetown. Rejection transformed into fuel for his revolution. Curry transformed Davidson into a national sensation during the NCAA tournament of 2008, when he scored 40 points against Gonzaga, 30 against Georgetown, and 33 against Wisconsin. His performance left the same coaches who rejected him perplexed with what they had missed. Number 9. He had to relearn shooting from scratch. At Davidson, Coach Bob McKillop identified a serious problem. Curry shot from the waist, a movement easily blockable at higher levels. The news devastated him. He would have to abandon the shot that defined his identity. The reconstruction was brutal. Weeks practicing just the movement without the ball, in front of the mirror. Then, short-distance shots, focusing exclusively on the new mechanics. Teammates report that he cried from frustration, repeating basic movements like a beginner. Even during this painful reconstruction, he never missed a practice. Gradually, the new shot emerged, higher, faster, leaving at eye level with an elevated trajectory. The shot that would change basketball was born from pain and perseverance. The new mechanics allowed Curry to execute the movement in just 0.4 seconds, almost half the average time of other NBA players. This speed, combined with the new height of the release point, made his shot practically impossible to block. Number 8. He was considered too fragile for the NBA. Curry's notably thin ankles became his biggest problem. In his second season, he suffered 5 severe sprains. In the 2011-2012 season, he played only 26 of 66 games. The medical reports were devastating. Ligaments with abnormal wear and anatomical structure with predisposition to recurrent injuries. The Warriors consulted 3 specialists, with 2 recommending surgery. Curry then made a radical decision: ligament reconstruction surgery followed by rigorous rehabilitation. He developed an obsessive regime of strengthening not just the ankles, but every muscle that supported them, with balance exercises, proprioception, and complete strengthening. The fragility that should have destroyed him became his strength, allowing one of the longest and most successful careers in the modern NBA. Interestingly, this experience, with injuries, forced Curry to develop a game less dependent on physical explosion and more based on pure skill, which contributed to his unique and revolutionary style. Number 7. He was almost traded and nearly became history. In March 2012, the deal was finalized. Curry would be sent to the Milwaukee Bucks in exchange for center Andrew Bogut. The Warriors' general manager even called to inform him of the decision. However, the Bucks' doctors examined his medical records and concluded "This guy is broken. It's a high-risk investment." The Bucks refused the trade. This rejection allowed Curry to remain with the Warriors, where he would find Steve Kerr and the ideal system to revolutionize the game. Sometimes, the no we receive is our greatest protection. In the season following the failed trade, Curry began to show his potential, and 3 years later, he led the Warriors to the first of their multiple titles. Ironically, Andrew Bogut, the player for whom he would have been traded, ended up joining the Warriors later and became a fundamental part of that winning dynasty. Number 6. He uses advanced technology to train reflexes. Curry invests in the brain and nervous system with futuristic equipment. He uses stroboscopic glasses that block vision hundreds of times per second, forcing the brain to process fragmented information, as happens when defenders partially block his vision. He uses a reactive light system positioned around the court, which light up in random patterns demanding instantaneous response. His trainer developed exercises where Curry solves mathematical problems out loud while dribbling with 2 balls and reacting to visual signals. He also uses eye-tracking technology to develop more efficient visual scanning patterns, allowing him to process more information in less time. Neurological studies show that Curry can make complete court scans in less than 0.2 seconds, identifying positions of all players and calculating probabilities of success for different play options almost instantly. Number 5. He leads in silence. Curry never yells at teammates after mistakes, never demands that the ball go through him in decisive moments, never publicly humiliates colleagues. His leadership is in the details, arriving 3 hours before and staying 2 hours after each practice. When rookies arrive, he's the first to invite them to dinner, asking about their families and interests outside the court. Andre Iguodala tells that one of the greatest demonstrations of leadership was when Curry, already MVP, calmly accepted coming off the bench during the 2015 finals because the coach thought it was better for the team. Curry celebrates his teammates' points with more enthusiasm than his own. His leadership comes from consistency, silent example, personal sacrifice, and elevating others above himself. Draymond Green, known for his explosive personality, once said, "Steph taught me that you don't need to yell to be heard. Your consistent action speaks louder than any motivational speech." Number 4. Mindfulness and meditation are part of his game. Since 2013, Curry has worked with specialists in sports psychology and Eastern techniques. Every morning, he dedicates 20 minutes to guided meditation, focusing on staying in the present moment, without judgment. During games, he performs small rituals. Before free throws, he closes his eyes for a second, taking a deep and controlled breath. Between quarters, he finds a quiet corner for 3 minutes of meditation. In decisive moments, when the game is tied with seconds on the clock and 20,000 people shouting, sensors have measured that his heart rate frequently decelerates. It's not coincidence, it's mental training as rigorous as his physical regimen. His meditation coach reveals that Curry can enter a state of flow almost at will, an extremely rare ability even among elite athletes. Certainly, this state, his perception of time changes, allowing him to process information and execute movements with surgical precision even under extreme pressure. Number 3. He rejected millionaire campaigns for his values. Curry has refused fortunes to remain true to his values. In 2016, a major brewery offered $42 million for 3 years. Curry, who doesn't consume alcohol and is conscious of his influence on young people, refused without hesitation. In 2018, A sports betting company proposed $75 million for 5 years, which would be the largest individual sponsorship deal in basketball history. He refused, citing concerns about the impact of addiction on vulnerable communities. A soda brand offered a lifetime contract, potentially exceeding $100 million. The refusal came because Curry and his wife had initiated a campaign about child nutrition and obesity. As he said, money comes and goes, but what you stand for, that's eternal. These decisions were made silently. Curry never used them for self-promotion or to build a public image. They only became known through leaks from the sports marketing industry and discreet confirmations from his team. Number 2. He has a stake in Under Armour. In 2013, with the end of his contract with Nike, Curry wasn't just looking for a bigger check. During negotiations with Under Armour, he inserted a revolutionary clause. He wanted equity in the company. He didn't want to just represent the brand, he wanted to own it. Nike had the opportunity to match the offer, but underestimated his potential. Under Armour accepted, a decision that would change the fate of both. The Curry line has generated more than $14 billion for the company, and the value of the shares he received has multiplied several times. Each new product, design decision, and marketing strategy goes through Curry. While many athletes sign contracts that enrich them temporarily, he built an asset that continues growing even when he's not playing. A sports marketing industry executive commented, "Curry's move with Under Armour revolutionized how athletes think about commercial partnerships. He didn't want to be just a poster boy, but a legacy builder." This changed the paradigm of negotiations in professional sports forever. Number 1. He changed the game without changing who he is. For decades, the NBA was dominated by giants. The biggest icons were almost always the tallest and strongest. Three-point shots were seen as a complementary tool, not as a main weapon. Then came Curry, at 6 feet 2 inches, short by NBA standards, 185 pounds, light, without the ability to dunk spectacularly. By all established standards, he shouldn't be a superstar. Instead of trying to transform into something he wasn't, Curry did something revolutionary. He perfected what he already did well. He elevated the three-point shot to a level never seen before, expanding the concept of good shot to distances previously considered absurd. The impact was seismic. In the 2009-2010 season, the NBA average was 18.1 three-point attempts per game per team. In the 2021-2022 season, that average more than doubled to 36.7. Entire teams rebuilt their rosters and philosophies based on the model that Curry proved viable. The true revolution goes beyond statistics. Curry made basketball more accessible. Suddenly, that kid considered too small could see himself reflected in the world's greatest player. The NBA's greatest coaches recognized the tactical revolution that Curry provoked. Greg Popovich, legendary coach of the San Antonio Spurs, admitted, "We had to completely rethink our defensive systems because of a single player. This has never happened before in the history of professional basketball." Today, on every court around the world, children imitate Curry's movements, shooting from distances previously considered ridiculous. They aren't just copying his techniques, they're absorbing his philosophy. You can change the game by being authentically you. The biggest lesson? Be so good at being you that the world changes to accommodate you. Don't waste energy trying to fit into a mold that wasn't made for you. Redefine the game so that your unique strengths become the new reference. As Curry himself said in a rare moment, of reflection on his impact. I never wanted to change the game. I just wanted to play in the way that made sense to me. If that inspired a new generation to find their own path, then that might be my greatest legacy.